All right, you guys, happy Friday. Welcome to the end of the week. Get excited because the rapper, The Game, has dropped his song entitled The Assassination of Candace Owens, and the lyrics are in fact fantastic because even the hip hop world is asking questions and noticing that Turning Point is not acting right. It's because you guys are just not acting right. Well, guess what? Something interesting has taken place. This morning, TPUSA confirmed that the debate request and the sit down request to respond to all of our very many questions actually came from Erica Kirk. They said that request was directed by Erica Kirk, and I find that to be compelling. And they also explained why it has to be in person. And I am curious to play that clip for you to see if you believe and accept their explanation, their reason why. Also, I have probably looked at more footage from September 10th than any human being in the government or otherwise, anybody on this planet. And I happened to take note of something that I find to be quite strange. And I want to toss it to you guys because the public is more perceptive and capable than our FBI. So let's jump right into this. Welcome back to Candace. Okay, we're going to do something different and actually begin today's episode with comments from yesterday's episode because they are extremely relevant and they're also hilarious to what we are about to discuss. People who watch the show are obviously savages, absolute savages. And obviously, yesterday we were discussing how they rescinded the offer because it had to be in person. Look at this comment, top comment. TPUSA takes them 3 months to respond. Also, TPUSA, you have 24 hours to respond. Like, what? Seriously, why? Where did this 24-hour thing come from and why was it necessary? The second comment, this user writes, Tyler Robinson can appear in court by video conference, but Turning Point USA says Candace cannot attend their debate by similar means. Yeah, guys, we are starting to notice some things. It's weird. And we announced, or it was announced today, that Charlie Kirk's show, which they are continuing, and which once upon a time enjoyed the #1 spot on Apple Podcasts, has now plummeted, right? This is a tweet. Breaking news, the Charlie Kirk show has crashed in the rankings, falling to number 94 on Apple Podcasts, even though it routinely held the top 10 spot in the past and even reached #1 when Kirk was alive. The reason for that is simple. It is clear. People are telling you how they feel, and they feel that you are not being honest. They feel that they are not getting the truth from the very people who keep trying to market themselves as his closest friends. And I'm saying marketing intentionally because it feels as though they have transformed into a badly run PR firm from the early 2000s where you try to use celebrities to influence the public. You get like, Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake to wear your denim. And everybody just then starts wearing denim, right? And I will add on to this that I certainly myself am compelled. I would say that it's an interesting twist in this debate story, if we're even calling it a debate offer. At least I was surprised. I was legitimately surprised to hear this morning that it was apparently Erica Kirk who called for TPUSA to formally respond to the mounting questions and to set the live stream. At least that's what Blake Neff is saying on the Charlie Kirk show. They received this morning phone calls from the viewers at home. And of course, somebody asked about the nature of how they went about trying to get me onto this live stream. Let's take a listen to that question being asked, I think from a woman named Gina. Let's take a listen.
Let's take Gina's question. Gina, welcome to the Charlie Kirk Show. What's your question?
Hey, thanks, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. My heart's broken with the things that are going on with Candace. And I'm trying to make it all come together. I'm sure I'm not your only fan that is trying to do that because of the relationship that she had with Charlie. And one thing that I'm just trying to make come together in my head is why the invitation was extended to Candace, but not to Candace directly. Blake, I think you tweeted something out, and I don't know if, I don't know what's truth and what's not, but I do know that she said she didn't even see the invitation, and it was issued, Blake, I think at 12 on a tweet that you had, or at midnight, 12, not noon, midnight. And so it was like 9 hours later before she even knew that you said anything about her attending the show. And then she's saying she can't attend in person. Can she attend on a live stream, or, and you guys do live streams all the time. And is that going to be an option?
Of course, Gina.
I'm just trying to make this come together.
Of course, Gina. So first of all, our initial statement, it was on the show on Wednesday. I made it at the request of Erica. All of this has been at the direction and approval of Erica because she heads this. And so what we were announcing there is we said she has said things that are not true, and we did not address them for a long time. We stated the reasons why, that we thought a lot of them were just not, how to put it, we initially just thought no one would believe a lot of what was being said. And we also just, we remembered the same friendship that Charlie had, and we just hoped that this would go away without requiring any sort of direct statement or confrontation from us. So what was approved is we announced we are going to respond to this. And what I said was we are going to announce a date soon. We actually hadn't agreed on it at the time I read the statement. We're going to announce a date where we're going to respond to this. And once we announce it, Candace is free to attend in person. That is what we announced. And so once we agreed on a time, I announced what the time was going to be. Candace, for her part, had said, you name the time, you name the place. That is what we did. As for why it was put out at that time, I would just say I don't think she had any difficulty in finding out what our scheduled time was. It seems everyone found it out quite quickly. And lastly, on the point of why it's in person, I think it's pretty intuitive that given what is being said, the way this has worked is that it's critical to be in person if you want to be authentic and to be detailed. And that is what we think is a fair request to make if she's going to participate. But regardless, it is going to go forward because we have agreed that some response needs to be made. And so that's going to happen when we announced it on December 15th.
Yeah, and we actually got to hit it.
I'm one person,
Gina,
but
Gina, I'm sorry, we got to hit a radio break here. We can keep going in the break if you want for if you have a follow up. We'll be right back. We're gonna take a break from radio. We'll be right back.
So I love situational irony like that, where he is actually live streaming with Andrew Colvett. He's like, it's not authentic unless it's a person is in person, and Andrew Colvett's literally not in person as he's answering those questions. So I guess the show is not authentic or something. I also love Blake because he's trying so hard not to be condescending in that bit. It doesn't come naturally to him. He's extremely condescending. His obvious, how do I say this? We're shocked that you guys believe Candace. We're just very shocked, you dummies. And his excuse is that the reason he did this in the middle of the night on X is that it's to be expected, as if that's some sort of normal etiquette. Once you extend an offer, not only do you extend an offer, you say that it's a sincere offer. He used the word sincere. And when she is trying to get around to, hey, like, why does this need to be in person? Just to be clear, Blake is saying the answer to that is, quote unquote, it's intuitive that it is critical to be in person if you want to be authentic. Let me just run that sentence again because I consider myself to be pretty intuitive. I am intuiting right now that is absolute bullcrap. He says, quote, it's intuitive that it is critical to be in person if you want to be authentic. Yeah, they think you're stupid. They just think you're absolutely an idiot. And he says that that's fair. What are you talking about? My most contentious and my most viral debates have never been in person. Everyone assumes that when you extend an invite, that you're going to do whatever you can to make it happen, whether it's friendly, whether it's not friendly. When you come out and you say that you are live streaming, the assumption is that you are live streaming because you want the internet to be able to attend, right? That's the whole purpose and function of live streaming an event, is that it invites everybody to be able to attend. So when you extend an invitation of live streaming and you don't explicitly say it must be in person, why would I assume that you're going to rescind the offer if I say that I can appear via live stream? Okay. They never said that when they made the offer and they were pretending that they were being sincere. They never made in person a point of their demands. They never also said that I had to respond within 24 hours. That's a hostage situation, okay? There's no way that I could have accommodated all of that. In a million years, 24 hours to respond. How about, let me see if I can make that work. Even if I could have made it work, which I couldn't have, because my husband instantly said, no, you cannot do this Monday. And he runs the household, and he has an important thing going on that day, which involves people that are coming in from overseas. But even if I could have made that work, I would not have within 24 hours have confirmed to them if they had even sent me an email, because I have kids. I would have had organized things, and it would have just taken longer than 24 hours, and they knew that. What Blake did say verbatim on that day is, quote, "Here is what is going to happen. In the near future, there will be a live stream here in Phoenix." So we're assuming they're live streaming from Phoenix, where we address in a clear and comprehensive way the claims and the accusations, the false accusations that have been made against Charlie's family, friends, and the people here at Turning Point. We plan to walk through everything carefully and thoroughly. If Candace is available, we would sincerely welcome her participation in that live stream at our studio in Phoenix. Not a demand to be there in person, live streams happening at your studio, and you said that this was a sincere request, then you went about it in the opposite manner, which is why it makes it really interesting that he says in the beginning that that was done at the request, at the direction, and with the approval of Erica. And that's interesting for a lot of reasons. A, I think a lot of us have been wondering, like, did she take on this role and she's actually executing? Or are we still going through a transition phase? Is she still learning the part? How involved is she on a day-to-day basis? Because some of these actions seem like fumbles, like absolute fumbles. And you're wondering, is Andrew Colvat running things? Is Tyler Boyer running things? Is this coming from Erica Kirk? Because I'm having trouble, I guess, comprehending why she would green light something that the internet has now read as incredibly insincere. Of course it's insincere. You market yourself as somebody that is passionate about family, and we can't even get 24 hours to see if we can make things work and exchange things. Like, that doesn't feel honest. That didn't come across as honest. And you're telling us, or we're assuming from that statement, that she approved the statement that went out referring to people as Antifa members, like making us akin to a basket of deplorables because we don't accept the Fed slop. Like, that got her approval to go out. Like, this was read by Erica. That doesn't feel good, And the reality is if you deeply care about the legacy of Turning Point USA, as you all claim that you do, like you claim that you're really just in this, Blake Neff and Andrew Colvat, because we were his best friends and we love him, then how can you treat people who are genuinely people just like Gina, donors to Turning Point USA, people who got behind Turning Point USA, people who have photos of them going to Turning Point USA events, who probably have tickets to go to AmFest? How can you treat people with such contempt? How could you think they're dumb enough to believe that that was a sincere offer, that that's how it's supposed to work, if that's ever in the history ever of people setting up debates, that that's ever been how it's worked? That someone just arbitrarily picks a time and a place, and you admit you had no time and you did not have a date picked. So there's no reason you couldn't come to me and say, here's 2 dates that could work, and allowed me to do that. And by the way, I would still like for you guys to do that, okay? And one more thing that I want to put out there, because your 24-hour demand is ridiculous. It's silly. Okay, let's strip it. Let's not pretend that there's some buzzard that got hit. We can still make this work, and I would like to make this work, and I would especially like to make this work if you are saying or implying that Erica Kirk is going to be there. Because the reality is that would be a game changer. I think that's a game changer. I think it would be very powerful to have her there, to represent the viewpoints in a way that they're maybe not being shared by Blake Neff, who is incredibly unlikable, and speaks down to people. And I don't know why he does that. It's not coming across clearly from your spokesperson, Andrew Kolvat, who seems to be on the road and isn't course correcting in the attitudes that are coming out, or at least telling people not to be like late night tweeting like Tyler Boyer. And yeah, it would be great if you are saying that on the 15th, Erica Kirk, as you are insinuating that she's going to be there, right? She's directing this thing. Are you implying here that she's going to actually be in the chair and she's willing to allow me to bring things and to go over timelines and stuff? Like, can you make that offer through the proper channels? Can you actually say that, since you now have more details about how it's going to work, and reopen that offer again? There is no way in hell that George can make the 15th work. I just said it. No, he shut it down immediately, and for a very valid reason. And it is not my inclination to go to Phoenix without having my team with me. And my husband is very much a part of my team. But I will say that I will raise it further with the Supreme Court of George Farber if you are insinuating, and actually if you can confirm that you are saying that you will allow me, as you said further in this, to bring whatever it is, because it would be more authentic if it was face-to-face. If you're saying that I don't have to deal with you and this is actually going to be very open and I can ask every question under the sun, I might beg, I might beg. So I would love to hear from Turning Point USA, and stop pretending 24 hours was some like demand that had to be met, because that's ridiculous. So ball very much back into your court. And like I said, I want to make this happen. I still think you guys can open it up for a live stream. Like you're doing that right now. That seems ridiculous as well. Let's make this work for the people. Anyways, you guys, diving back into our investigation. Okay, got something very interesting for you. Now, it is actually common sense that has been guiding this investigation the entire time, despite the federal insistence that we pretend we don't have any. And I think there's a compelling element that we should follow here. Now, if we believe and know and have the intuition that this is a deep state assassination, I do. Okay, and we know that our deep state, the CIA, is involved in color revolutions all around the world. We should think about how they organize the revolutions, right? What does it actually entail? How does our military accomplish that? Through what means, okay? And I think it's obvious that they accomplish that through organized chaos. The chaos, as chaotic as the event may seem, has to actually be organized if this is military. It means that as a state, we fund and then we coordinate protests, and coordinating is the operative word. It has to look organic to the untrained eye. You have to actually make sure that people will believe when they read the New York Times, when they read AP News or Reuters, that all of this just happened. Like back in 2014, the Ukrainians were authentically and truly just done with their president, Yanukovych. And when John McCain went over there and led the protesters in the streets, he was really representing the voice of the people. It was not another United States military color revolution. By the way, if you have not seen that, this is what we do all around the world, you should I'm just going to play a little bit of this. John McCain addressing protesters in Ukraine before we overthrew their president. Take a listen.
Привіт, Ukraine! People of Ukraine, this is your moment.
Народи український, це ваш момент.
This is about you, no one else.
Це про вас.
This is about the future you want for your country. This is about the future you deserve.
Це про ваше майбутнє, про майбутнє вашої країни. Це про майбутнє, на яке ви заслуговуєте.
A future in Europe.
Майбутнє Європи.
A future of peace and good
Майбутнє
relations
миру.
with all of your neighbors.
майбутнє всіх ваших сусідів.
All right, that's enough. I don't know why we're like this. I really don't know why we're like this. Anyways, I believe in my heart and in my rational mind as well that Charlie Kirk's assassination was about as organic as John McCain, may he rest in peace, leading the people of Ukraine. And we got our color revolution, and we've been doing corrupt stuff in that region since. Now, I began scanning the people of the crowd obsessively. Obviously, you should see the folders on my desktop. And I'm referring, of course, now to UVU on September 10th. And there was something that I kept noticing. A weird amount of young men were alone at this event, and they were wearing maroon shirts. In fact, so many of these young men that I was coming across were wearing maroon that at first I legitimately assumed that it had to have been one of the UVU colors. I asked this question so innocently. I was like, to someone at UVU, I was like, oh, are your school colors maroon? And he comes back and he said, no, they're green and white. So my gut told me, okay, that's interesting, because maroon is not exactly a highly ranked color for men, okay? And it can't be that all of these men that are wearing maroon also happen to have attended this event alone. So I'm going to show you what I mean. And I'm going to go back to some of these people. This is by no means everyone. I'm just showing you a few times here. Here we go. We have this young man. This is after the shot. He's wearing maroon. Show you another person here sitting there under the tree after the shot, and he's wearing maroon. Show you another person here. We're going to come back to this person who is wearing maroon because his dad is going to say something publicly. 3 people, 1 shot, all of them alone, wearing maroon. We're going to come back to the guy at the top there who has the hat, the darker hat on, who is wearing maroon. Just like these like strapping young men all wearing maroon. We've got this guy in the bush wearing maroon. I could go on and on. This person of how many people were wearing maroon. I even have a video of someone holding a maroon shirt. Okay. So I mentioned that quite casually. And that thing happened where there was an overreaction for no reason online. So I knew that I was on the right track and I should probably keep going. And I said something, I think it was on X, or maybe it was on the show. And then we received hundreds of emails from people past and presently in the military around the world. And they said, yes, Candace, that is military. I am just going to quote a few emails here. One person wrote, quote, airborne forces wear maroon, not just in the UK, the USA, and France, as well as in dozens of other militaries. Another person said, quote, I instantly recalled that when police are in undercover units, the FBI, etc., and they are not in their uniforms, they often have a color of the day or a unit color. It's a signal to anyone else around that you are with that mission or unit, end quote. Another person wrote, quote, my husband was and led part of the QRF, Quick Reaction Force team, when they were deployed in Iraq. We are retired now. The maroon color in the military means the color is famously associated with military forces, such as the Maroon Beret of airborne troops around the world. And another person explained to me that especially in coordinated violent scenes, making sure that people are in certain colors or in something that is identifiable is important so that military men can observe who to protect or who they're looking for, right? And so that just makes sense, okay? And so LOL for all of you guys that were saying I'm stupid. I love being called stupid. Every time you call me stupid, it's another little clue that I should follow that. Just, you guys are so obvious, okay? It's the overreaction to simple things. And I feel in my gut that it was not some random coincidence that so many of these fellas decided to wear maroon on September 10th and attend the Charlie Kirk event. And I feel even more compelled because there was this person on TikTok, you may have seen it at the time, who was claiming that he had some videos that someone in his family had shot. And when he submitted them to the FBI had asked him to delete that footage. And I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's false. But I do know that when I got in touch with this individual and he sent me the footage, my eye immediately gravitated towards another person who happened to be wearing maroon, who is also alone at the event, who I thought was kind of strange, did not duck when everybody else ducked after the shot went off. I think I had shown you that. I'm going to show it to you again. I know I identified him as a young man named Jacob Kasparian, and I'm going to show you that video of him not ducking after the shot goes off. Take a look at this.
Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
And we're going to circle it so you can see it. Okay, that's him. You're going to see everybody duck. And it's going to come back up. And he's still not going to be ducked. He just kind of hits his phone and walks away. Now, regarding Jacob Kasparian, I want to be very clear. I do not think he shot Charlie Kirk because it's really fashionable for people to say that we are accusing everyone of shooting Charlie Kirk. No, I am observing some things that strike me as unusual. And it's unusual that he attended the event alone. It is unusual to me that after researching him, he had posted himself earlier that day at either 8:42 a.m. or 7:42 a.m. I'm unclear on whether or not Facebook is editing the time zones according to what I'm in, the time zone I'm in, or when it was shot. But he's wearing an entirely different shirt earlier that day. It's a dyed blue shirt. And then when he arrives to UVU campus, he kind of hits certain points. He's up high, and then he's at the lower rung. 2 minutes before Charlie gets shot, he's not where he is. And then the next thing you know, he's there. And the reason why he's not moving is because he's recording and he doesn't duck. And I just found that to be a bit interesting. I can show you, by the way, this is a very grainy image of him recording. We're kind of circling it there. It's okay if you can't see it. We've hyperimposed, but I just found it odd thereafter that nobody, despite him being there, witnessing it and having recorded, by the way, Charlie getting shot, none of his family members posted anything about Charlie's assassination. He is active. He did not post about Charlie's assassination. It happened in their backyard. It was a global event. No comment whatsoever that I could find. And I started to wonder, based on where I found these individuals in the audience, I started to suspect, and this is my broader suspicion and theory, which in any investigation you're allowed to do. It might turn out to be wrong, but I am beginning to suspect that our Maroon Boys in general were tasked with taking footage from predetermined angles. Again, it's a suspicion. I'd like to explore it, and the easiest way for me to explore things and rule things out is to open things up to the public. I would like to see if anybody recognizes and can identify these other Maroon Boys, because maybe I can determine what their extracurricular activities are. Are they all in the ROTC? As an example, I'm going off of internet vibes. They could be a part of an airborne force, okay? And it was even more compelling because there was this guy who live streamed the whole event. We all know who I'm speaking about. His name is Adam Bartholomew. I have never ever said anything about Adam Bartholomew. I have reviewed his footage, but people online were clocking him as suspicious. They're like, this guy just always happened to be in the right place at the right time. And he has been randomly attacking me. Again, I've never said anything about him. And one of the ways that he instantly attacked was when I mentioned the maroon thing. And he said, my son was wearing maroon on that day. And his son was. That's the person that we showed you. That's Adam, and that's his son. Yeah. That only makes it more compelling because you were capturing footage on that day. So I'd like to know more. And I also find it strange, I will say about Adam Bartholomew, that when the shot rings out, he's live streaming, okay? And he does not stop live streaming to run down and ensure that his wife, who was in the audience, okay, was okay. He did not. When I learned by accident that his wife was there, his wife Carrie was there, and she was standing by the bush, actually almost directly near Jordan Kasparian, I would have expected him to be like, oh my gosh, after he says, what is that? Is my wife okay? Oh my God, where is she? Where's Carrie? Nope. She tweeted that photo of herself, and she confirmed in her own X feed that she was... I am more than I ever been is what her tweet says. When we thought laying in the courtyard that we were about to get shot in the back or in the head, it was very clear that we were on the right side. She confirms by picture and by tweet where she was when that shot went off, and yet he mysteriously was not panicked to go find his wife. Odd, weird, and I have a suspicion about the Maroon Boys. I think all of our footage has come from Maroon Boys, and a lot of that footage was then algorithmically boosted. And so I would like to again show you the pictures of these men. And by the way, guys, there's going to be someone that just gets caught in here who just happened to wear a maroon shirt that day. I am sure. If that is you, please just write to me and let me know. Like, no, Candace, I go to UVU, and this is just a shirt I put on. They do look military to me. I will say that. And like these three, it's something that I've noticed. And then obviously we know Tyler Robinson notoriously was wearing a maroon shirt. Could be Boy Scouts, could be ROTC, could be Eagle Scouts, could very much be airborne. So if you guys know anything, please email us. Again, if you recognize these people, I don't want your broader thoughts on the color maroon, but if you recognize these individuals in particular, more tips at CandaceOwens.com. Okay, and then I'm going to tell you somebody that I actually do think is suspicious on that day, and I need to know everything about him. But first, let's get to some sponsors. All right, you guys, when they double down on abortion, we have to double down on supporting life. Through our partnership with Preborn, we can help save babies and support mothers that are in need. Every day, Preborn's clinics rescue hundreds of babies because when a mother sees her baby on an ultrasound and hears that tiny heartbeat, her chance of choosing life doubles. And now, thanks to a generous match, your gift will be doubled. That means twice as many ultrasounds, twice as many lives saved, and twice as many mothers that are given hope. Diapers, car seats, counseling, and care for up to 2 years. Now, if you've heard about Preborn before and you have not yet taken action, there is no better time than right now. Their work is some of the most important work to help heal our country. One ultrasound costs just $28, but you can give 10 times that amount if you can. Head to preborn.com/Candace to give. Again, that is preborn.com/Candace. Also, remind you guys about Just Thrive. We love them. The biggest health secret that is not talked about is that everything begins in your gut. Every day, your gut is fighting a silent war against processed foods, work stress, and toxins in the air that you breathe. When your gut is in trouble, your whole body obviously feels it. And most probiotics do not work. Actually, 99% of the traditional brands die in your stomach acid before they even reach your gut. And that is what makes Just Thrive's spore-based probiotic completely different. Just Thrive is the only probiotic that is clinically proven to arrive 100% alive in your gut. It does something that no other probiotic can. It turns your gut into an antioxidant factory, creating protective compounds exactly where you need them most, which means better digestion, healthy immunity, more energy, and easy weight management. You can take Just Thrive probiotic in the form of a capsule or a berry-flavored gummy. From their award-winning probiotic to their full line of gut, immune, and brain health supplements, Just Thrive has been fighting to make Americans healthy again with science-backed solutions that you can trust. Join the gut health revolution and take control of your health today. Visit justthrivehealth.com and you'll save 20% if you use promo code Candace. You'll see the difference yourself, or you'll get a full product refund, no questions asked. Take control today with Just Thrive. Visit justthrivehealth.com and use promo code Candace. We are not... I wanted to introduce you guys, by the way, to somebody that I do think is extremely shady, okay? Extremely suspicious to me, and I can give you a variety of reasons, but I'd rather just ask for your help in, let me give you something explicit. I would like to see footage of him, period, point blank, who he was with, in the crowd. I'm starting to identify every person there. That's where I'm at. I'm micromanaging. I'm doing my best carrot over here. I would like to even find him on the day of Charlie Kirk's assassination in the crowd, okay? His name is Emanuel Beerer, and there are 1,000,001 reasons why I wanted to know more about him. Look, he's a former employee of Oracle. He's in engineering. I believe he's from Germany, from what I looked into. He's a software engineer. And he attended the event, but somehow I don't see any photos of him at the event. And he was plucked from obscurity by the mainstream media as an eyewitness in Salt Lake City. They went to film him in Salt Lake City. I just would like to know how these media requests came about. Did he tweet something and you knew he was there? Actually, if you are PBS, which I'm about to show you a clip of him speaking on PBS, how did you know to reach out to this man? That's the first question I'd like to have answered, right? Because I'm thinking, if I'm sending people down, I'm not sending them to Salt Lake City, right? I'm going to send people a news truck down to UVU campus. I'm going to go around and try to speak to people on campus organically, people that are students and attended this event, without a connection, which ended up being the Tiffany Barker situation where she said, I was friends with Jeff Lehman, and that's the reason that I was able to get the news hit in the morning. How did Emanuel Beerer get picked out in Salt Lake City? Okay. I am going to let you listen to him speak and what he testified to on that day. Take a listen.
I hear this loud sound and I'm like, that wasn't what I thought it was, is it? I was like, no, this can't be happening right now. And we all ducked.
Okay, so yeah, they had him on basically every news channel. I think there is a longer clip and I might be able to find it, but I would like to find him. So if you attended the UVU event and you went with Emanuel, maybe you are Emanuel and you are watching this and you would like to clarify who you were with and send some photos and some pictures and also explain to me how you became an eyewitness that all of the mainstream media wanted to speak to, I would deeply appreciate that because I find that to be suspicious. I just do. Anyways, you guys, in other news, The Game dropped his album, his mixtape with the song The Assassination of Candace Owens on it, because Game gonna recognize Game. And I'm gonna play for you guys and probably get hit for it a couple of, we'll play like 10 seconds of the song, and then I'll just kind of go over these lyrics from the second verse, which I think are actually really powerful. Take a listen.
Let that woman speak her truth, and I will love her like my mama, love her like Kamala, love her like Obama. Truth is, truth hurts. It's like a neck shot. Who really killed Charlie Kirk?
Here we go. Okay, I'm going to read this to you guys. So he says, let that woman speak her truth, and I will love her like my mama, love her like Kamala, love her like Obama. Truth is, truth hurts. It's like a neck shot. Who really killed Charlie Kirk? Okay, that is the truth. The truth does hurt, and people want to know who killed Charlie Kirk. This next line is just absolutely, I think, destructive to Turning Point USA as an organization. He goes on and he writes, his body is not yet settled in the dirt. Why are you carrying on like that? Are you an Andre 3000 verse? Okay, so that's a reference to Outkast, and they are known for making their verses really long. They're very lyrical and poetic. And so that's the vibe coming at Turning Point USA from the hip hop community. How are you guys just going on like an Andre 3000 verse? Who killed Charlie Kirk? That to me is the ultimate referendum on what Turning Point USA is doing. It literally, even a blind man can see what we are all seeing, and yet you're trying to gaslight us into pretending like it's just all regular and that we are the bad guys. He goes on and he says, we live in an era where I can't say the N-words, twerk, and we live in an era where they pull wallets up out they purse. But I was raised in Zion and Nas I am, and if I'm lying low, throw me in a den with the lions and 5 YNs. I think that's a gang. I'm sorry, I'm not up to date on gang stuff. Either way, behind these bars is shots flying. Decapitate you so-called goats without trying. Go head to head with CNN while bumping CNN. Leave in France, I'm still alive. Some I won't see again. Speak my truth until I'm in the position that she is in. Moral to the story, be cautious who you believe in. I love this. It's so great. I love that he incorporated France into this. And what he's saying, obviously, is like you have to fight these so-called goats. And honestly, they are like Baphomet worshipers. Okay, the goat thing is, I get what he's doing here. He is being punny in all the right ways. And you somehow, by speaking the truth, you become a threat, and they want to kill you. Like, they want to assassinate you, and they're laughing. They send out these nerds to laugh at you when you say that, and you don't know if you're like, people are like, lay low. Like, you shouldn't even go to Turning Point USA. What am I doing? I'm just telling the truth. And he's saying all of this to say, we're all going, like, we all should be putting ourselves in this position to speak the truth. And the moral of the story is that we should be very cautious in who we believe in. And I think that that is how we all are feeling right now. Like, we are suddenly recognizing that this authority is arbitrary, kind of the most grotesque, perverse humans that you could possibly imagine. I don't even think they're humans, to be honest. They're subhuman. Happen to be running the world. For whatever reason, our governments think that it is a dramatic ask. Like, we're almost saying it's okay. We'll be employees and debt slaves for the rest of our lives. We'll get back to work and we'll pay absurd taxes every day. Can you guys please just leave kids alone? And our government's like, can't do that. Sorry. Could you please just not poison us? Government's like, sorry, we can't do that. You guys are asking for way too much. You're listening to too much Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. It's too much. You guys, how could you think that we don't have a right to poison you and to poison the minds of your children? It is, like I said, I think such a good commentary on the state of things today. I hope I didn't say gun stuff. I'm not in any gangs, but I'm a gangsta. Yeah, I'm a gangsta. I think so. So anyways, if you guys would like to toss him some support and just to appreciate that we're at a moment where hopefully when he says, like, I was raised listening to Nas, what he means is like real hip hop, right? And people that were actually commenting on the state of things in an intellectual way. It's actually why I loved Jay-Z's music when I was growing up, and I kind of hated what he became. I think it is also reflective for Black America, because so much we have been kind of transformed into the ultimate slaves of Baphomet, like this idea of freedom, where I think we're all realizing right now we're not free. Like, we are all slaves, and they give us products and iPhones and flat screen TVs and Hollywood and the Kardashians, and we're supposed to think that that's glamour and it's glitz, and that means that we're in a golden era. Nope, nope, nope. I think that there was not an enlightenment, but there was a darkening of mankind, and America is going to have to wake up real quick. So thank you for putting Charlie Kirk, memorializing him in that song to the game. Hopefully next time you do it, I can be on the verse. Just like maybe just one little expression from this podcast. Everything is fake and gay. All right, we'll take a brief break and we will come back after the comments. All right, you guys, what if you could delay your next 2 mortgage payments? That's right. Imagine putting those 2 payments in your pocket and finally getting a little breathing room ahead of the holidays. Well, that's possible if you call American Financing today. If you're feeling stretched by the everyday expenses, groceries, gas, bills that are piling up, you are not alone. Most Americans are putting these expenses on credit cards, and credit card rates are insane right now, in the 20s, even the 30s. American Financing can now show you how to use your home's equity to pay off that debt with rates that are in the low 5s. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are helping homeowners just like you restructure their loans and save money every month, all without any upfront fees. The customers are saving an average of $800 a month, which is like a $10,000 raise without having to change jobs. So call American Financing today at 800-795-1210. Again, that's 800-795-1210, or visit americanfinancing.net/Owens. Again, americanfinancing.net/Owens. Also, remind you guys about Nimi, because you know I love them. It's cold outside. December is here. Weather is extremely dry. And if you're anything like me, your skin is starting to feel it. This is the time of the year when we all need a little extra help keeping our skin moisturized, healthy, and glowing. And let me just say this. I love what Nimi Skincare is doing this Christmas season. While every other brand is tiptoeing on eggshells, trying to be inclusive with their happy holidays messaging, Nimi is saying no, absolutely not to that. Their entire website is decked out for Christmas. It's bright, it's joyful, it's unapologetic, and I could not be more here for it. Now, if you're wondering what I am personally using right now, Tennessee winters are no joke and my skin can get dry fast, so I've been using Nimi's Sunshine Tallow Cream, pairing it with their Buzzin' Tallow Balm, and honestly, my skin has never felt softer. There's no dryness, there's no cracking, just rich moisture that lasts all day. And the formulas are clean, simple, they work, and yes, they make incredible gifts for women in your life who appreciate great skincare and American-made values. Moms, sisters, daughters, grab a few and you'll thank me later. So here's the deal. Use code Candace10 for 10% off. You can order at NimiSkincare.com. That's NIMI Skincare.com. Do not wait. Get your skin the care that it needs this winter. Treat yourself, grab a couple of gifts, and support a brand that actually stands for something this Christmas season. All right, you guys, especially fellas, Christmas is around the corner. You got to get your girl and make him a sandwich. Book, wrap it up, put it under the Christmas tree. If she opens it and she's excited, she's a keeper. If she opens it and she's disappointed and she feels offended, I just don't know. I just don't know. You guys can get the book on Amazon now. If that's more convenient for you, if you want to get 20% off, you should head to makehimasandwich.com and you can buy it directly from us with no middlemen. And we are also now shipping to Candace at makehimasandwich.com. Signed copies available only at CandaceOwens.com. Oh, I said Candace. We're not shipping to Candace. We're shipping to Canada. Thank you, Skylar. That's a good idea. It'd be weird if they bought books and we shipped them to me. That feels like a scam. We also have new merch available on the website if you'd like to buy our Hate It or Love It, the underdogs on top. I love that. I'm actually going to get the game to sign it for me, obviously. I just thought that was great. Now that I'm a rapper. Yeah, I think I'm a rapper. I'm definitely a gangster. Anyways, you guys, also on the website, you can now gift someone a membership to Club Candace or to the book club on our website. Just head to the About section. You'll scroll down and you will see the Want to Gift a Membership tab. Enjoy. I think that's great. I think that's very fun, especially for the book club. We really get into it. We get into a lot of trouble, but it's fun and it's way more laid back because I'm not worried about getting struck on YouTube. All right, let's get into some of your comments for today. Laughing Cats writes, that's, by the way, a very big donation. Thank you. Holla at our girl Candace, supporting her, y'all. I think we need to remind the world that a news station at the CK Memorial talked to attendees for 3 hours, and none of them believed the FBI narrative. TPUSA can blame you all they want, but you are not changing minds. You are speaking to ours. That is so well said. Thank you for writing that, because I feel like I'm becoming a punching bag. All I'm doing is I'm voicing how everyone feels. Like I said, did I collaborate with the game to do the song? Everyone knows that what is being told to us is completely ridiculous. Let me also tell you guys something else that I forgot to mention. So remember, there's only 2 videos of the quote unquote shooter on the roof. One, which was shot from the side, where you see somebody crouched down holding a gun. Well, I had a follow-up call with the person who shot that video. And I asked him, I was like, can you confirm that you actually saw him take the shot? Because literally he's recording him at 12:23, right? He said, no, I didn't see him take the shot. I never saw any recoil. This guy has experience in guns. He teaches people to shoot guns. And he said, and I did not say that that was, remember, he told us early on, that's not the person that I saw. I saw somebody in tactical gear. And I have seen so much about people saying, yeah, this is the video. I've seen so many people debating whether or not he put the gun back together. He's like, I can say that none of that happened. So I asked him, did Tyler Robinson's defense lawyer reach out to you? No. Have the feds reached out to you since I called you? No. There's only 2 people that have cameras of this person on the roof, and you are telling me that he hasn't been like automatically subpoenaed into the court case? Again, every layer of this is BS, and we know it. And you can't just, spit in our faces and tell us that it's raining. And that's what it feels like they're trying to do. Curbster writes, so the best spokesman at TPUSA, that TPUSA has to present a BS invitation to CO is a guy who was fired by Tucker Carlson for racist remarks. No wonder TPUSA is failing. No one is buying it. None of them deserved to breathe the same air as Charlie, much less call him their friend. I actually, a few of you have commented about, I actually didn't know that Blake Neff used to work for Tucker Carlson when Tucker Carlson was on Fox News. I'm going to ask Tucker Carlson about Blake Neff, because I'm not feeling his vibes. Remember I said before I believed him. Now I'm just like, no, now he's just doing too much. Nope. He's lying. He's a liar that lies, okay? After extending an invitation and saying, we sincerely invite Candace to join us on the live stream, he then tweets, I don't know if we have the tweet where he just like says, no, it was never meant to be, like, we know that that's not an invitation. Do you have that tweet? I don't know if I send that to you, Skylar. We can pull it up later. But now they're pretending like they were never sincere. Oh yeah, here it is. Of course, it's not how you book a guest. We are not booking a guest and never said that we were. We are delivering a response to several months of escalating harassment and lies. She was given the opportunity to join and declined. That's just a lie. Like, you're just like, how can we accept that anything you guys say in this live stream is going to be true when you are lying to us right now? I never declined an offer to join your live stream, okay? You never insinuated that it had to be in person, and you made it seem like it was a live stream, which meant that as long as we could get there, of course, any place you can live stream, literally any place, anytime. That's what tech allows for. And now you're pretending like the terms were very clear and that it was going to be 24 hours. And I had to, like, it's like everyone can see through it. So we are now adding you to the pile of TPUSA BS officers, okay? I'm going to figure out what happened with Tucker. Tucker will tell me the truth. So you watch out. Tucker will tell me the truth. I'm going to text my friend Tucker, my only friend Tucker, according to Adam Sosnick. Tucker's my only friend. Corey Henry writes, Candace, you don't think that they would hesitate to take a whole plane down to get to you? They would, and they don't care. I love you and I'm praying for you. Christ is king. Look, I do think it would be one of the dumbest moves ever if they coordinated my assassination at Turning Point USA headquarters. I mean, that would just be, yeah, I would like to think the feds are smarter than that. But, it is being run by Kash Patel, and he thinks his girlfriend's music is sensational. So maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Top Class T writes, make things right with Black people so that we can throw our support behind you. Quote, no permanent allies or enemies, only permanent interests. Cut the check. I don't know what cut the check means, but I don't know how to make things right with Black people. I don't know what that means because I feel like I've always been right with Black people because I'm Black. So I feel like I've always been cool with everything I said. I just tell the truth. I don't really care how people feel. And so I feel like during BLM, Black people were really mad at me because I was telling the truth, but then the truth ended up being the truth. And BLM was a scam and they were buying themselves houses. So maybe Black people should make up with me. That's what I want. I want people who supported BLM to make up with me. And I will accept your apology. Tim Morgan writes, the truth is its own self-evident and unassailable defense. We love you, Candace. Thank you, Tim. Crown Heights Brainiac writes, Candace, please go live when they have their live stream and do a live reaction. Team Petty. I saw that request and we can confirm that we are going to live stream their live stream and live respond to the live stream that is not actually a live stream that's interested in getting to the truth. I also love that they're now trying to cage it. like they were doing this live stream to respond irrespective of me, when their entire introduction to this live stream was him speaking for 10 minutes and assassinating my character. And now it's like, oh, this isn't about Candace. We're going to do this irrespective. And again, I don't love the fact that he heavily implies that Erica sanctioned that. He obviously didn't write it himself. And she's a CEO, and it would follow that a CEO would read that. Why allow for those lies in there and misrepresentations? I don't get that. And I do hope she attends, because these would be my questions. Also, Erica, if you're watching, can I submit to you a list of 5 questions? Since it has to be in person and whatever, because of like intuitive stuff or something. If that is the requirement, can I submit like Candace's top 5 questions? Can we do that? Or is that too hard? It has to be in person or something. Again, we're trying to bend over backwards here to make this work somehow. And we are very open to it. And we have never once declined this. We told you the truth, which was that it's virtually impossible. It's not actually the opposite. It is very virtually possible for me to appear on December 15th. And I don't see a reason why not to allow that. Dubious Maximus writes, I knew it. They wouldn't do a Zoom live, but in person only. The debate is rigged against you. And if you don't go in person, they will say the matter is closed. They answer all questions and won't accept further inquiries. You are correct, at least, that the new format of TPUSA campus events is that students have to tell them ahead of time what they're going to ask. We have received a flurry of emails to that effect. And I do sense this is going to be fake and gay. I'm going to hope for the best, but it's already feeling pretty fake and gay. It hasn't even started. So Candy Renee writes, go Max. Anna Rosas writes, Barry Weiss is interviewing Eric Kirk on December 13th. All is lining up with this December 15th show. Barry is going to pressure Erica into disavowing your claims. That way you have to stop investigating into CK's assassination. There's always a reason for everything. I saw some news about Barry sitting down with her. I thought that it was actually that she's going somewhere where New York Times is hosting or CBS is hosting. I don't know what it is. I like to wait and still stuff until things actually happen. Don't need to surmise about what the future is going to be, but I'm assuming she's going to be at the December 15th event based on what Blake Neff has said. I'd like to know if I'm right about that. And yeah, I don't run my household. My husband, when I said December 15th, rushed right to him when I saw the text confirmation or the tweet confirmation. And he said December 15th absolutely does not work. I cannot make December 15th work. So Allison Berry writes, Iron Lady of America going Max for Charlie. Thank you, Allison. And lastly, Sarah writes, praying for you every day. I am so sad to see what has happened to TP USA. It makes me sick. I loved Charlie and his work. I felt hope. I don't think Charlie would be okay with this. I also feel sad for Erica, and I feel sad for his kids. I do feel sad that it is seemingly all burning to the ground very quickly, and that they do not have enough forthright character to assess what they are doing that is causing this. You know, it's like they think it's like the world against them, and the world could not have been more behind them when Charlie was assassinated. So if you have lost favor with the world, I'm talking about the organization, by the way, not obviously his kids and Erica. Well, I guess Erica is now the CEO, but if the organization has lost favor with the world so quickly, and your excuse is, well, this is Candace's fault, and you send Blake Neff out to lie, it's because you're deluding yourselves. And this organization, in my view, has become completely delusional. So there's that. I'm not going to mince words, least of all because I want an organization that isn't staying true to their own principles of free speech and inquiry to do well. The ghost of Charlie Kirk, that's not an appetizing enough of an offer to make me stand behind an organization that no longer seems to be engaged in telling the truth. So anyways, you guys, we will see you on Monday.